5 News starts now with a first alert severe weather alert.
Right now, we're continuing to follow the latest on this massive Hurricane Matthew, the storm now heading toward the Bahamas. We have team coverage right now. Harv Jacobs in North Charleston, where buses have arrived from Greenville County to help us out. And Aaron Mabin is at Edisto Beach, where folks are being encouraged to leave ahead of this storm. But first, let's go to Jordan Wilkerson in the First Alert Storm Center. Jordan, you just got an update within the hour on this nasty storm. What's it show for us?
Well, Bill, we've got kind of a mix here. We have some areas that might be affected a little bit more, but then it's looking like maybe it'll be out of here a little sooner. So let me go ahead and show you where it is right now. Notice still in the Caribbean, passing eastern Cuba there for the Bahamas. And earlier this morning, if you joined us, notice there wasn't a well-defined eye. Now we're starting to see that happen again. It was weakening as it was going through some mountainous areas along Haiti and Cuba, but now that it's going back over the water, things are getting a little bit more conducive for re-strengthening, I should say. So right now it's moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. Again, if you did watch earlier, you noticed it was 10 miles per hour. So picking up speed a little bit now that it's over the water, and 120 mile per hour sustained wind speeds, when earlier during our 8 a.m. advisory it was 115. So you can start to see that it's starting to pick up its pace a little bit and its intensity. We're still expecting it to become a Category 4 hurricane as it's leaving the Bahamas. So it's going to continue to strengthen. This advisory should be coming out 8 a.m. on Thursday as a Category 4. Then it's going to keep approaching the Florida coast. If you watched earlier, it was a little bit further south. So starting to get a little bit faster, just by a hair here. And then this is going to be 130 mile per hour Category 4 storm approaching the Florida coast. This is Friday, 8 a.m. Even though it's going to be this far down from us, this far south of us, we will still start to see some impacts, definitely with the waves and the surf, but also with some wind. Notice how it's hugging the coast of Florida here, very close to our southern counties. This is Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning, but down to a Category 2. It'll get into some wind shear. It'll get into the land here in Florida that will help to make it weaken a little. So great news for us. As it approaches us, it will go down to a 2, if it stays on this track, of course. But a Category 2 hurricane is still something to take seriously. Keep your plans in place. Now notice, if you watched this earlier, the track initially wanted to keep going north. Now it looks like it wants to turn a little sooner. Turn east. So as that goes to turn east, we could be seeing the effects or the major impacts leave a little earlier. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to be completely scot-free as soon as Sunday morning rolls around, but things will start to improve as we go through. So that's one good thing to look for. And then notice it continues to go out to sea into our Monday. One interesting thing too with these spaghetti models. Now this is pretty much in consensus Thursday, staying in the Bahamas, going towards the Florida coast. We do have a couple rogue spaghetti models wanting to keep it out to sea, but this is where most of the models want to take it, riding along the coast. And then notice how a couple want to come back south. That's something that we're gonna have to continue to watch. The majority of the models still keep it riding along the coast. We have 2 models here that keep it right on top of us, but most of them still offshore. Of course, if it is further offshore, the impacts will be a little bit less. If it's closer to us, of course, the impacts will be a little bit more imminent and the threat will be worse. So we'll continue to track the winds here. I'll go more into detail coming up on those impacts, Bill, coming up in just a few minutes. And of course, we just did a live update on our Facebook page. You can go check that out too.
Thank you, Jordan. Now's a great time, folks. If you haven't already, download the free Live 5 weather app to get all the updates on Hurricane Matthew as we continue to track this nasty storm as it heads apparently in our direction. The evacuation order changing some. According to Governor Haley, she announced this morning counties in the low country will evacuate at 3 this afternoon as planned, but some other counties will wait until tomorrow. Right now, those lane reversals still on I-26 at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's when they're scheduled to begin. When Charleston and Beaufort County residents are urged to evacuate, that reversal will start right here at the I-26 merge with 526. But now, the governor says Horry and Georgetown counties will be evacuated tomorrow morning. That's because the storm shifted slightly, as you just heard Jordan say. But the governor says moving people in phases should help lessen the number of people out on the highway at the same time. Listen to this. She says there may be 250,000 people traveling today alone, even more tomorrow.
No, we're very comfortable with the phasing in that we're doing. What we're trying to do is actually, because the storm changed, we are changing with the storm. And I think that's very important that we just make sure that we do it in phases as we see that change. Beaufort and Charleston definitely need to go ahead and plan on evacuating at 3, but we saw that because the storm had slowed down, we can move that evacuation for Georgetown and Horry to tomorrow morning.
The governor says her goal in evacuating people on the coast is to save lives, and she says she's aware hotels in the Midlands are pretty much full right now, so she's encouraging you to look instead in the upstate. That's the Greenville-Spartanburg area if you're looking for a place to stay this afternoon or even tomorrow. Now, in the last hour, hundreds of school buses arrived at the North Charleston Coliseum to possibly help take evacuees to safe ground. Harv Jacobs live at the Coliseum right now with details. Harv, the buses will be used only if they are necessary.
Yeah, Bill, the key word only. The buses are still rolling in. I want to show you live video over here. Take a look. Here they come in. We're told they're coming in 3 waves, the buses. They are being driven by drivers, actual drivers to the Greenville County School District. Here they are rolling in. I'm told about 270 of them coming here to help out if necessary. They were escorted by the Greenville County Sheriff's Office, several deputies. They left around 7 o'clock this morning to head down here to the North Charleston Coliseum. Now, we want to show you video from earlier of the buses coming down I-26, again, escorted by the Sheriff's Office. Now, here's the situation with these buses. They're only going to be used so our local shelters fill up. If that's the case, people who want to evacuate, they will come here, and these buses will take them to other shelters inland. Again, the key word, only if our local shelters fill up. Otherwise, they'll just be sitting here. But as the governor said yesterday, this was necessary to do just in case. Reporting live from the North Charleston Coliseum, Harv Jacobs, Live 5 News.
All right, Harv, thank you. Right now, an evacuation is underway on Edisto Beach. Town officials say everybody needs to pack up and leave by 3 this afternoon. Nobody will be allowed back on the beach until conditions are deemed safe. Our Aaron Maben is live on Edisto right now with the very latest on the evacuation efforts. How's it going out there at Edisto, Aaron?
Bill, good afternoon. We have seen hundreds of people leaving. We've been here since 4 o'clock this morning. They have been evacuating, listening to the advice of town leadership to leave this island. They are taking this very, very seriously. We just learned in the last few minutes that for those who stay, there will be a curfew. We have the chief of police with us right now. Can you give us more information on this curfew?
Sure. The mayor just ordered a curfew. It will be from 8 p.m. this evening till 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So by 8 p.m., if you're staying, you need to be in your home and off the streets for the night.
Things will shut down at 3 o'clock. When will people be able to reenter?
That's hard to say. Of course, it depends a lot upon the storm. It's still about 850 miles out, and the track's varying back and forth. So we really won't have that answer until after the storm goes by and we see what damage we have here.
Okay, thanks for coming out with us this morning. That's the latest we have from Edisto Beach. Again, that evacuation, 3 o'clock. People will not be able to enter Edisto Beach. On Edisto Beach, I'm Aaron Maben. Back to you in the studio.
Looks like a ghost town there at Edisto Beach. Now, county officials hard at work making sure that you're prepared and that you're safe. What you're seeing right now, the current status of OPCON levels around the Lowcountry. Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties are currently operating at OPCON level 2. That means officials expect an emergency situation soon. Authorities tell us the Isle of Palms is also now at OPCON 2. And we're told Dorchester County will be moving to an OPCON 1 level, the very highest level, within the next 3 hours. We will continue to update you as the preparedness levels get stronger throughout the afternoon. Also, in the next 2 hours, CARTA says it will be operating on a shortened and limited schedule today before the hurricane arrives. The final bus of the day will head back to the CARTA terminals at 2 p.m. After that, there will be no more CARTA services until further notice. We're told several CARTA buses will be made available to Charleston County officials to help in the evacuation process if needed. This important reminder, folks, for people who live on the Isle of Palms, all residents must have a hurricane re-entry sticker to return to your home after the storm. You have to be a full-time resident, need your vehicle registration, and fill out the form either online or at the Public Safety Office. That's on J.C. Long Boulevard. Again, that's on the Isle of Palms. To help protect your home against Hurricane Matthew, sandbags will be available throughout the Lowcountry. You can pick them up in North Charleston, Moncks Corner, Ladson, James Island. To find out exact locations, all you have to do is head to our website, live5news.com, and look for the story. It's right there on the homepage. Right now, Airbnb will help out with the mandatory evacuations. They told us their disaster response opens up their homes
So our southern counties will definitely feel the effects first, of course, but they also might feel the strongest effects because look, notice how much closer it is towards the bottom of our coast here, the southern end, compared to our northern end. So the one change here, the main change that I've noticed is that it's going to continue to push up, but push east a little sooner. So the 8 a.m. advisory showed it going a little bit more north along the whole coast here, but it might be turning a little sooner than expected and continuing to push out to sea. So the bottom line is the southern counties will definitely be feeling the brunt of it, I believe. Northern counties, you'll still be getting the impacts, of course, but you might not feel it as long as it continues to push out to sea. So going into our spaghetti models into Thursday, still expected to become a Category 4 into the Bahamas, a Category 4 as it brushes the Florida coast. We have some rogue spaghetti models here that want to keep it out to sea. We'll continue to track that for you, but the majority of the consensus here is that it will still hug along the Florida coast, weakening to a Category 2 as it approaches our coast and then going back out to sea. We do have a couple models here, a few models that want to bring it back down south, so that's just something that we're going to have to watch. It's still too early to say if that's what's going to happen 100%. Still a fluid situation. Here is the projected tropical storm wind for us. As it's in the Florida coast here, along the Florida coast, we're still expecting to see some impacts. So although it won't be here yet on Friday in the morning, we'll still be impacted by it. This is Saturday morning, 11:30, and look how close it is to our coast. Now, this is just one model showing the projected tropical storm wind span. And even this is just one model. And most of the consensus is riding along the Florida coast and then starting to turn towards the east a little sooner. So again, we'll just have to continue to watch it because the sooner it goes, the less impacts we'll feel for the longer amount of time, or we'll start to lessen our impacts as we go through time, I should say. So tropical storm force winds are expected, heavy surf beach erosion, storm surge 3 to 7 feet possible, and storm surge could push inland up to 20 miles depending on how close this hurricane gets. Also 4 to 10 inches of rainfall possible. And still, we're expecting this high ridge, a ridge of high pressure to continue to push east, or west rather, and that's what's going to help to keep this towards the west. But in the next day or two, it will push east, and that's what's going to help it to go east. As we look at your beach and boating forecast, this is a live look out on Folly, and it's getting pretty wavy out there. Notice temperatures in the upper 70s, and we have a moderate risk for rip currents. Over the next few hours, temperatures are looking pretty comfortable. We'll have only a 20% chance for a shower, so just be mindful. Today's a great day to get out on the road if you need to. Temperatures and conditions will be nice for driving. Now, notice as we go into the weekend, we increase those rain chances significantly. But Saturday or Sunday rather, only a 20% chance. That just depends on if it's our Live 5 weather app, and join our social media platforms as well.
And Jordan, some good news about first alert traffic on this Wednesday afternoon. You know, folks, you would expect traffic to be heavy, especially on I-26 westbound heading toward Columbia. But look at how well the traffic is flowing right now. All green right up here until you get to Somerville. Little bit of a problem as we zoom in here from Somerville for about 10 miles or so, 5 miles actually. So if you can get past that little problem in Somerville, you're good to go on I-26. Also a problem too, I was going to show you on Dorchester Road, but not a major problem there. And a problem on 41 as well as you head toward Cordsville, a little bit of a problem. But again, no major traffic problems to report. Traffic actually looking good, especially when you consider how many people are using the highways to get out of the way of this terrible hurricane. A live look at traffic right now. This is a bit of a backup. This is I-26 mile marker 201. This is heading westbound, I'm sure, and you're going to face that. But quite frankly, traffic is moving remarkably well, especially when you consider how many people are evacuating from the Lowcountry heading, say, to Columbia or North Carolina. Now, in the Midlands, leaders at Harvest Hope Food Bank busy this morning preparing for the potential response needed should Hurricane Matthew have disastrous effects on our state. Raycom's Ali Spilliards is there with more on how Harvest Hope is getting ready just in case.
As the lead food bank for disasters here in South Carolina, Harvest Hope volunteers are already hard at work this morning and prepping for a long few days ahead as all eyes are on Hurricane Matthew, and we watch our coast and the Midlands to see what's going to happen. Now, I am joined by CEO Denise Holland. Denise, a lot of food being packed, but we know there's going to be a need for more, correct?
There is a need for more food. We're a little bit empty right now as a food bank, as far as the food bank is concerned. And so we do have some needs for food and for funds so that we can help those who are in harm's way or will experience some sort of devastation with this.
And can you talk about the difference between monetary donations and food and why monetary sometimes really is preferred?
Well, I have to pull a lot of triggers today to make some things happen and be ready for next week, and that's going to take an influx of dollars to make those things happen. Things like trucks, generators, additional staff for next week to help us, ordering boxes, and ordering the all-important of ordering food. I need to get all of those things rolling, and the dollars coming in right now helps me to know that I can get all that done before next week.
All right, Denise, thank you so much. We're so grateful for everything your staff and volunteers are doing this morning. If you would like to help, you can go to harvesthope.org, click on the Donate Now button right on their homepage. For the Raycom News Network, I'm Ali Spilliards.
It's game day, baby! Woo! Got it, baby, say yeah! Oh, let's not go and be blitzing on me hard. Go get this W tonight. 1, 2, 3, I need 4 quarters from you. For your family. For this town. You're on offense now. Right, let's go.